On the sleeper track Low from SZA's 2022 release SOS, the singer proudly proclaims that she prefers to. This lyric kind of sums up SZA's whole deal. As a singer, songwriter, and celebrity, she's never shied away from controversy, never tried to play the good girl, and always seemed to embrace many of the seemingly contradictory aspects of being human, particularly for millennial women navigating the later stages of young adulthood, like her. And she's done this to great success, following in the footsteps of genre-blending bad girls like Janet Jackson and Lil' Kim, while charting a unique path and giving much appreciated voice to the sluttier, needier, more chaotic aspects of some women's psyches. I am fascinated with SZA and how she deftly incorporates so many emotions, experiences, and desires into her songs, which themselves often mix genres or move freely between musical styles to create tracks that just sound and feel like our lives. She's cocky and confident one minute, depressed and demoralized the next, all while randomly referencing 90s kids icons like Pepper Ann, Jennifer Martin, and Drew Barrymore. This video will explore some of the specific themes that SZA employs to produce this relatable and multi-dimensional effect, plus the pop culture that seems to both inspire and dialogue with her work. Though SZA's had a distinct singing and writing style since her mixtape days, her particular brand of self-conscious, self-aware emo pop fully crystallized on her LPs Control and SOS, so we'll mainly talk about those albums.
I'm sorry, I'm not more attractive. I'm sorry, I'm not more ladylike. I'm sorry, I don't shave my legs at night. I'm sorry, I'm not your baby mama. I'm sorry, you got karma coming to you. Collect your soul, get it right.
All parts welcome. When SZA released her debut album, 2017's Control, one song in particular seemed to galvanize her target audience of 20 to 30 somethings, The Weeknd. As if songs detailing sexual infidelity don't compose the inner core of R&B, rap, and most modern pop, social media commenters either loudly howl their extreme distaste for the side chick anthem, or sneakily co-sign the song's message by repurposing the most salacious lines as Instagram captions. While odes to being the other woman or man are nothing new, something about SZA's self-awareness about her position in the triad felt fresh and different.
My man is your man, her is her man too. My man is your man, her that's her man.
And it wasn't just this song. Much of Control's appeal was due to the unfiltered look at the singer's perceived flaws, insecurities, bad ideas, and regrettable mistakes. She wasn't the ultra-confident R&B diva some have come to expect from Black women singers. That idea in itself is a gross misreading of classic and modern R&B, but that's for another video. She made songs where she seemed to be just as pathetic as she was promising, just as much of a stoner loser as she was an ambitious hustler. And she seemed really comfortable expressing these poles of her life and personality. On Control and later on SOS, she was giving voice to all of her parts, even the embarrassing ones. The idea that everyone is made up of multiple, sentient, and often disordered and disagreeable parts is the nucleus of a psychotherapy model called Internal Family Systems, or IFS. IFS, which was created by American therapist Richard Schwartz, supposes that while we have a wise self that makes us us, it is the nature of the mind to be subdivided into an indeterminate number of subpersonalities or parts. Just like a human family, these parts interact with each other, sometimes harmoniously, but sometimes they disagree with each other and with our wise self. The IFS model looks at all of our parts, including the most disruptive ones, with compassion, assuming that they are prompting us to think and act in sometimes destructive ways out of love for us, hoping they can keep us distracted or numb from painful memories or situations that they think we aren't prepared for. Intentionally or inadvertently, SZA's music, with its insistence on reflecting the less desirable aspects of personhood and womanhood alongside the triumph and confidence, offers a lesson in one of IFS's core tenets: to welcome all parts, even the annoying ones. As Jay Early, author of Self Therapy, a step-by-step guide to creating inner wholeness and healing your inner child using IFS, writes, IFS takes the stance of welcoming all parts with acceptance and compassion, even our most dangerous and destructive ones. This is actually a spiritual practice, to open our hearts to every aspect of ourselves and discover that they want the best for us. This allows us to see that the basis of all inner activity is love. And while SZA does judge these less appealing parts in her lyrics, she simultaneously gives them space to be heard and express their desires. This makes both of her full-length albums emotionally well-rounded, as the singer seamlessly moves through heavy topics like low self-esteem, abusive relationships, and grief over her dad's passing, while also celebrating the joys of being young, desired, and loved by family and friends.
I wish I was special. I'd give all my special away to a loser. Now I'm just a loser. I used to be special, but you made me hate me. Regret that I changed me. I hate that you made me just like you.
One reason we get to hear so many different sides to SZA is because album making, up to this point, has been a sort of spiritual purge for her. Here's a clip of an interview with Apple Music.
It's changing. Something is changing in my music, and I'm noticing that.
So
because
SOS
something
was
is
a
changing
purge.
in me.
It was a purge.
For sure. Everything changed after that. Like, my whole brain, and something about releasing all of that,
Yeah.
It was like 5 years of, like, uncertainty, turmoil, chaos.
SZA's multiplicity makes her a rarity on the pop charts, where her songs of sordid women cheating, murdering, and generally causing mayhem share space with more standard pop fare. And it's not only the lyrics that defy easy labels. As The Guardian's Shad de Souza described, SOS is captivatingly messy, not just in its sad, funny, sexually frank lyrics, but in its production, which makes room for a country emo hybrid, 90s indebted rap, and plugs samples of Bjork and Old Dirty Bastard into the same song. Odes to difficult women. SZA's subject matter is often dark and vulnerable, but the protagonists in the stories she tells tend to be pure trash. Akin to television's ubiquitous anti-heroes, the women in control in SOS are the worst kind: sexy, needy, violent, unscrupulous, and generally unlikable. Music made by women has traditionally focused on softer, traditional women. We're much more likely to get songs about women being the victim of infidelity rather than the perpetrator, for example. And when the other woman or cheating woman's perspective is featured, she's usually full of regret, repentant, or cheating out of spite to get back at a cheating man. There are obvious exceptions to this, Whitney Houston Saving All My Love for You, for example, but like the leading ladies of television and movies, women in music have, in the past, been flattened to fit the culture's current ideal of femininity. What strikes me about the characters in SZA's songs is that they're so often difficult women, a tendency that has strong comparisons to other millennial dirtbags like Issa of Insecure and Fleabag's eponymous heroine, which de Souza also addressed and expanded on in The Guardian. Much has been made of the way SZA fits into a millennial, messy woman archetype. Many of these songs are, after all, Fleabaggy admissions of returning to shitty exes. The lyrics that stick out to me aren't the deeply sad ones that seem to be the basis for a lot of 2 a.m. tweets and TikTok captions, but the ones that call bullshit on ideas that SZA should have to be respectable or real, or that crying over her exes precludes her from showing any kind of emotional strength. Even the interludes from SZA, real name Solana's mother and grandmother, which serve as interwoven narration on Control and occasional sound bites on SOS, are about pushing back and not being an easy woman.
But Solana, if you don't say something, speak up for yourself, they think you stupid. You know what I'm saying?
It's clear that SZA admires complicated women who don't fit society's narrow views of womanhood that emphasize heteronormativity, domesticity, and sexual purity. On each album, she names songs after polarizing women, like SOS's Gone Girl, named for Gillian Flynn's novel or the film adaptation, and Control's Drew Barrymore, named for the former party girl addict turned cuddly talk show host. The murderous lead single of SOS was named for Quentin Tarantino's Kill Bill, which graphically shows a former assassin exacting revenge on her old coworkers. The cover image of SOS is inspired by another iconic and famously difficult woman, Princess Diana. SZA has also name-checked the quirky, difficult preteen of the late 90s, Pepper Ann, on at least 2 songs, including Control's Go Gina, where she quotes part of the show's theme song.
I've been dropping out and I've been hanging out with my high friends and we too stoned to pay attention.
These references, coupled with SZA's brooding emo lyrics, paint pictures of women who reject the pop wisdom of our generation. These aren't women who focus on wellness. They smoke a lot. These aren't women who are doing the work in therapy or setting healthy boundaries. Instead, they spend their time anesthetizing early adulthood growing pains with sex, drugs, and self-sabotage, hoping to briefly distract from their uncomfortable 20s angst.
Fearing that growing up, keeping me up at night. Am I doing enough? Feel like I'm wasting time. Promise to get a little better as I get older.
Helping to give her songs a dreamy, dazed, and almost ambient feel is the use of bird imagery and symbolism. Song titles like Pretty Little Birds and Doves in the Wind, and lyrics about floating, flying, and swimming give listeners the feeling that SZA is passively drifting through life, adding to the themes of young adult ennui. Also a connection between SZA and another difficult woman, singer Rihanna. Although she doesn't appear on Control, I always felt like the album was in direct conversation with Rihanna's Auntie, which was released in January 2016, about 18 months before Control. SZA even co-wrote and features on Auntie's first track, providing one of the more somber songs on the album with her signature flying imagery.
I come fluttering in for Neverland. Time can never stop me. No, 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 no. I know you tried to.
The archetypal women featured in both albums represent opposing qualities. The down-to-earth, boy-crazy ingenue of Control seen to answer and directly oppose the cool, poised, love 'em and leave 'em vixen of Auntie. Together, the albums show much of the same overconnected, disaffected, modern world through different perspectives. SZA's first two albums feel current and specific, but have proved to have cultural staying power and will likely join pop and emo canon. Her dense, mesmerizing soundscapes mirror the unfulfilled, uninspiring young adulthood many millennials experienced, beset by tragedy, turmoil, cultural uprisings and uprootings, rapid-fire technological change, and eventually burnout. The unsteady, insecure, and ever-questioning women that SZA channels throughout Control and SOS are embodied symbols of the worlds that built them. Although Control and SOS are very much a part of and in conversation with the most popular great works by Black millennial women like Insecure and Auntie, their messages will no doubt be relevant to and repackaged for generations of women to come. My name is Whitney, and I write about pop culture topics that interest me, usually with a bit of gender studies and spirituality mixed in. If that interests you, please subscribe. And if you liked this video, be sure to check out my playlist on Music I Heart. Please like, leave a comment, or share this video with a friend. I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching.